Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys the difference between expensive dopamine and cheap dopamine. So expensive dopamine is something that you have worked your way up to get there, and then you have the release of the dopamine. And cheap dopamine is just, I want it, I got it, okay? It's just like you just get it that minute. So let's say, for example, ordering Uber Eats and like a unhealthy fast food meal, that's cheap dopamine. But expensive dopamine would be going to the supermarket, getting the protein, making a protein meal, and then eating it and being satisfied and satiated for a while. That's the expensive dopamine. That's one example. Another example, cheap dopamine would be scrolling on my phone to fill a void within my life, or putting my phone in the other room would be the expensive dopamine, and then creating my own life for myself. Okay, another example of cheap dopamine for me, let's say, would be to just linger around when I think of a thought. Let's say, even this YouTube video, I want to make the YouTube video, so instead I'm gonna clean up my space and clean up my room and procrastinate and then do it in 4 or 5 hours. But the expensive dopamine would be to think about it. Happens to be, this is actually a little bit the opposite. You have to do it right away. So that would be me going and taking my phone out and making this YouTube video right now in this moment, okay? That's gonna build and give me expensive dopamine. Honestly, cheap dopamine, you can come to points in your life where you will start noticing, is this gonna give me a cheap dopamine or expensive dopamine, okay? So I actually notice that sometimes when I'm in a lower place and I feel like negative thoughts about myself, I will want to, like, let's say, reach out to people that have hurt me in the past, or I know aren't good for me. I will want to reach out to them because I know I'm trying to fill a void within myself, that I need to do work and I have deep work to do. Let's say, for example, write, read, make a podcast, make a YouTube video. But to me, they're not going to progress my life to the next level. That would be a cheap dopamine, okay? So you have to see the difference between, let's say, an expensive dopamine, a cheap dopamine hit, and an expensive dopamine hit, okay? Which one are you going to choose? So for me, how I'm getting this mental clarity within my life right now is because I slept, okay? Because I deeply went through that cycle of the REM cycle. What that does is it completely will release all the traumas from your brain. Naturally, REM cycle is a natural EMDR, okay? People go to EMDR therapy in order to feel better so they don't have traumas built up. But naturally, through the REM cycle, our eyes move from side to side, side to side throughout our sleep, okay? So, if you get proper, adequate amounts of sleep, you will go through that REM cycle, you will wake up refreshed. So what I did was put my phone in the other room and completely had such a good sleep that I woke up feeling so refreshed and I can create and do things in my life. So naturally, if you really focus on things in your life that are going to bring you the expensive dopamine hit, you're going to feel a level of, first of all, self-respect within yourself, okay? Because when you choose to go through the cheap dopamine, it's like you're cheating on your own self, okay? That's what it feels like. When I go for the cheap dopamine hit, I feel like I'm cheating on myself. I don't feel any reward. It's 1 minute of satisfaction and it's gone. Whereas if I work my way up to progress, I will feel that level of self-control, self-respect, you name it. The list goes on and on. And also, naturally, you will start attracting people in your life that have self-respect. And I notice that there's a line down the middle, and I notice at times where I'm giving myself cheap dopamine hits and just cheating on my own self, I will be attracting that energy, those type of people, those type of experiences are coming into my life. But when I truly am taking accountability and responsibility for my life, I'll be attracting into my life people that are on the same wavelength as me. So it's really highly, highly important for you in this moment to see your life right now and say, am I taking full accountability and responsibility for the things in my life in this moment? And if the answer is no, take out a paper, put a line down the middle and say, where is my cheap dopamine? Where is my expensive dopamine? Where am I giving myself that quick hit? Where am I actually working my way up? And I'm sure you have at least one area in your life where you are working your way up, where if that's working out or, you know, something that you work hard for. And Andrew Huberman really speaks about this also. And basically, you'll put that line down the middle, you'll write down the cheap dopamine, expensive dopamine, just write it down. What's cheap, and then how am I going to combat that? So, if it's the food late at night, right? Ordering Uber Eats, I'm going to cook myself proper dinner in the earlier afternoon. So, I'm not going to get to level 10 of hunger. I'm going to be hungry when cooking it, but I'm not starving when I'm cooking my dinner. So, I'll cook earlier in the day. So you have to just notice, and it's all about preparation and preparing your life so you don't get to that level 10 of hunger, you know? You want to be at level 5 when you're cooking. So I noticed yesterday that I was feeling hungry, so I got a snack. I got like a bowl of fruit, and then when I was cooking dinner, I felt good, and I wasn't like, oh my god, I need to eat, I'm so hungry, I'm so hungry. I was just cooking the dinner, then I ate the dinner at like level 6 of hunger versus level 10 of hunger. And there's a difference, you know, you feel just this like sense of like, okay, like calmness, your nervous system is regulated, you're not like starving for the food when it comes, you know. So just notice these things in your life and say, like, where am I going to really start respecting and valuing my own energy? How am I going to respect myself? And also, another incredible way to respect yourself is just stop taking advice from people that you don't want to live in their shoes. That's a simple way, okay? You can't keep on getting advice from them, from them, from them, from them. You have to really start focusing on your own life. Take advice from people that you want to be like them. And if that's not a real life person in your life in this moment, then go online. And let's say, for me recently, I've been loving Lila Hermosi. She's incredible. Ivanka Trump. Just really inspirational women that are seeing themselves with this confidence, with this aura of really just self-development. And a woman can be someone that actually trusts her own instincts and has a vision for her future. Not only is it just motherhood, but it's also becoming that best version of themselves for herself, you know? And then for, let's say, motherhood, you can become the best mother when you are the best version of yourself, okay? So there are things in life where you have to really notice, like, take advice from people that you want to be like them. If you would want to live a day in their shoes, then take advice from them. But if you don't want to live in their shoes, do not take advice from them, okay? Take it like a grain of salt. Simply put. Another really interesting concept that I've gotten this incredible awareness from Andrew Huberman about the cheap dopamine and expensive dopamine and how it really affects your life, okay? So I've gotten this awareness through his podcast. I'm pretty sure it's just labeled like cheap, like getting expensive dopamine, or it's all about dopamine. And if you Google just Andrew Huberman dopamine, so much is gonna come up. So you can get so highly educated from that world, in the science world. And I've gotten this whole concept from him. I didn't really know exactly. Intuitively, I felt that I can't just give myself a cheap amount of dopamine. I have to really work myself and work my way up. But really, once I watched his video about dopamine, it really gave me the clarity how to really see that, oh, let me not just do something that's going to ruin my dopamine receptors. Let me do something that's going to actually build my dopamine receptors so I feel that sense of fulfillment and respect for myself, okay? So do the things in your life right now that you have that are going to build your self-respect and give you that respect that you can feel like you can go after your life, okay? And do things in your life that bring you that joy, okay? That's really going to bring you success. Letting go of the cheap dopamine and really doing and focusing on the expensive dopamine, working your way up. And he even says, like, let's say, for example, if you're in the middle of something and you're really like, you're on the gas, like you're going, like, if this is something that's giving you like that release in dopamine, like something that's just like full force, right? So if that's like going for a jog and going for with music and like having coffee and just going full force, just like take a step back and try to regulate your nervous system and try to notice like, whoa, I'm really going full force. Let me just pull it back a little bit so I don't crash when I'm done my jog. Even though that's an expensive dopamine hit, you still want to just be very careful because that's a lot of an increase in adrenaline, dopamine, everything. So just like taking your foot off the gas and just being more aware of what's going on and those releases with those chemicals that are getting released through your body. So I would say that if there's one small concept that you can take out of this whole entire YouTube video is to choose one area in your life where you are going and kind of cheating on yourself and try to do it that you can change it to respect yourself. So if that's going on your phone too much or scrolling too much, you can put your phone in the other room before you go to sleep. And it's going to feel weird at first, but you're going to have to get used to it. And that's going to build you to that expensive dopamine. And going to sleep, your sleep will affect you for the next day and you will feel refreshed and you will feel alive when you wake up, okay? You will feel like you got repaired, and that's what the REM cycle will do for you. So trust me on this. And anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this YouTube video, and if you feel that a friend of yours can benefit from this YouTube video too, feel free to share it with them and subscribe down below. Like this video, comment your new expensive dopamine that you are doing that's going to change your life. Anyways, have a beautiful rest of your day, and we'll see you back for the next video. Bye!